Hello, everyone. This is Ashley Sellers, speech language pathologist and owner and operator of Speech, Language, and Beyond. So as you can see, you're not seeing my face right now, but what you do see is a live recording of my website. I'm doing this because I have worked so hard over the last few months to update my website, to make it more interactive for you guys, to have things that you really, when you're looking for something specific for your child, that you can come to this website and most of the things that you need will be here. I'm making this video because I also know right now we're all home, self-quarantining. Most of our kids are out of school for the year. We're looking for things for them to do, especially if we have a child that was receiving any type of speech therapy services under an IEP through the school system. They're not receiving that right now. Maybe not. I don't know how you all may be working that out. Or if there are children that have been seen privately, you're taking them to an outpatient clinic or a private clinic after school or before school. Those services probably aren't necessarily being offered right now, at least not face to face. So I wanted to provide you all with resources that you can use at home. These resources are good for any active SLP that is doing any form of teletherapy right now. All of these things can easily be pulled up within your video conference room via whiteboard or by sharing your screen. It can be just as interactive as if you were sitting there with the child. You're able to control whether or not they're able to move their mouse or give them access to the things that are on the page. Even for parents, if you're not doing any type of conferencing or anything like that for your child, then you can also download all of these activities. If you're not able to print them out, you can still save them and go back or come directly through the website and pull them up on your iPad, on any type of tablet that you have, and it can still be just as interactive. So that's something that I want to put out there for you guys. So I don't want to make this recording very long, but I want to go through very quickly and show you specifically some of the things that we have. So if we take a look at this first section here, before I get started with that, my website is www.speechlanguageandbeyond.com. As you can see here in this white area, these are all the tabs to my page. So to get to the free activities that you do not have to use money to pay for them, they're absolutely free. You're going to click on the speech therapy freebies tab. It'll get you on the page that you see here. So the first thing that I've made available are PowerPoint games that I have created. These games cover language skills and articulation. So the language games that we have focuses on prepositions, which is another way of saying spatial concepts. It works on spatial concepts such as on, in, between, under, front, behind. If that's one of your kids' language goals, or if you have a child that is somewhat nonverbal and not using words, this is a good thing to use with them to help increase their vocabulary, especially if their receptive language is strong. We also have the does not belong game. It works on categorizing vocabulary. It's based on similarities and differences. And then for articulation, we're focusing on final consonant sounds, which are the sounds at the end of your word. So if you have a child who has an articulation disorder and they're constantly leaving off the ending sounds of their words, this is an activity that will help them do that. Even if they're not doing that, the sounds that are embedded here, they can still practice sound production for ending sounds, plus the sounds within those words that we chose. Even if it's in another word position, it can help anybody. And then the laser artic game focuses on SH, with them producing the sound in initial, medial, and final position. So for each one of these, if you want to download them, you're going to click on the picture to download it. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. So if we download this first one, we're going to click on it. And what you will notice is that it's going to download the game to your computer. So when it downloads the game, in order for it to do that, you have to have the PowerPoint that is compatible to the one that I used. Once it's finished downloading, you're going to open it up. When you open it up, it's automatically going to start the game. You will automatically begin to hear me introducing the game, giving them directions. So let me go ahead and show you what this one looks like. Just take a brief listen for me. All right, so this one is find the preposition.
Find the preposition, a game of identifying spatial concepts. Under. We're looking for the spatial concept under. Can you find the 3 pictures that show under? I know you can do it.
So as you can see, they're able to hear my voice. It's telling them instructions on what they need to do. And so what's going to happen, each picture will let them know whether or not they were able to get the answer right, or if they got the answer wrong. If they have the answer right, it will take them to the next screen for the next question. If the answers are wrong, it will take them back to that same page. And because they're having to find all 3 answers, once they find it, it will still take them back to the page to find the rest of them. So if we're looking for under, we can click on the girl here. Then it says correct. This shows under. Have you found all 3 pictures? If not, go back. Now, if you have a child who can't read, you would need to sit here and read that for them. Or if they're having difficulty knowing how to work the mouse, or if it's not touchscreen, then you would just need to let them know where they need to click or do it for them. Now, these are designs for the child to work independently, but at the same time, if it's a skill that the child needs to learn, it helps to have someone sitting there with them, so that if they do get an answer incorrect, you can provide them with the correct cues or prompts to lead them to the right answer. So this is one of the answers. So it says, if you have not found all 3, go back. They would click here to go back. If you have found all 3, go to the next slide, and they're going to click on next to get to the next one. But we haven't found all 3, so we're going to go back, and then we're going to look for another one with presents under the tree. Same thing. They're going to go back. And then the owl, under the umbrella, we're going to pick that one. Then we're going to go back. Well, and then because we know we found all 3, instead of going back, we're going to click next. And it's going to take us to the next prompt, okay? So that is how that one works, and that's exactly how it is set up for all the rest of the games as well. So they do, if you're not sitting there with them, they do have some form of instruction on how to function, but I strongly, strongly encourage parents, if this is a skill that your child needs to learn, take the time out first to at least sit there with them to get through it. And then if you have them run through it again, then maybe they can function independently to, practice on the skill, but I think they will enjoy it. Now, our next section is the speech therapy worksheets. We have language worksheets and articulation worksheets. Our first 2 worksheets for language deals with WH questions. So we're going to go ahead and click on this first one here. Now, what I love about this, I'm pretty much sharing my screen with you the same way that if a teacher was using this in a video conference, or if you were pulling it up on your tablet, you could use it, and it could also be interactive because I'm recording it from my website and I haven't quite downloaded it yet. If I download it, I'm able to use the pens and the different types of markers that they give you in a PDF file for your child to go through and actually make the markers on the game in order for them to get through from one point to the next. But because we're pulling it up directly from the website, this is what you're going to get. Okay, and so with the same thing here, you're going to go here, you're going to download it to your computer. It'll ask you where you want it saved. I'm going to put mine on my desktop. Then once it downloads, I'm going to open it up. Let me show you what the PDF of that would look like. Please excuse me for that one. So here it is on my desktop, and I'm going to open that up. And if I was wanting to use this with my child on their tablet, or if I was pulling this up doing video conferencing, then I could use these tools in order for the child to manipulate the board if I do not want to print it out and use it, okay? So for example, but if I was using this online with my child or with one of my students, the first things that I would do is have them review some of the answer choices that they actually have. So I would take my pen here, and I would at least, I guess I would just use maybe the check mark, and I would go here and I would say, okay, let's review the picture. So here it says a book is used for reading. An elephant likes to eat peanuts. You write with a pencil. Now I can click on it as I go to let them know where I am so they can follow along. And then once I'm done with that, I can go here, click on it, and take it off. And then as the child is able to go through, we can go back up and I can ask them to choose one of these shapes here. So I'll say, okay, let's press start. So they're going to press that shape and it's going to show up there. And it probably can be something different, but this is just a way that you can be able to use it. Let's see what this one looks like. Let's clear this one off. And let's see what this one will give us. And I think you can make it as, big as you want it to be. I think you also have the option of changing the color. So I'll use purple. And this is what they can use as their marker. So this is where they're going to start. All right. So also on my website, you can also pull up a virtual dice. So let me show you how those two things can coincide. So let's bring this down for a minute. Let's pull back up the website. And we're going to go back. And if we go down to the bottom, even though we're moving a little bit ahead from where I want to go, I can pull up this virtual dice on my screen. Okay. And this is still something that you can do while sharing your screen, or maybe it's something you can also do if you're working with your child on the tablet. So I could say, okay, let's determine how many spaces you're going to move. So I can have my child click on the dice. As you see, you can hear the sounds. It gives them a number. So I'm like, okay, we have 4 spaces. So I'm going to go right back to the sheet where I started, which is this one. And I'm going to move my marker 4 spaces. So I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4. So here's my question. Let's see if it's going to show up. What is a stove used for? So then I'm going to go back down and let them find their answer. And then we're going to say here, a stove is used for cooking, so they can still take it and put a marker here. And we know they're already done. They've answered that question. A stove is used for cooking. Okay. And so that's ways that you can use it. Now, if you decide that you do not want to use it over a tablet or a computer, then you also have the choice of being able to download this and then print it out. Cut out I would suggest that you put it on cardstock paper, laminate it and cut it out, and then just use it as a regular game board. To take it a step further with each one of these videos, you can go to the interactive YouTube video that covers some of these same questions that are found on the board, but they're just able to see it a little bit more interactively on the screen. They have my voice as a prompt that's guiding them through the activity. Then we have another one, early go-togethers. Now this one is one that I would just print out and use, or you can use it as a cut and paste activity to only be used one time. So you can cut it out ahead of time, have them cut it off ahead of time and let them glue it and go back and just keep it and keep reviewing it later. So that's also something that you can do. And with this activity, I also have another PowerPoint game here that you can use that goes with what belongs together. And then we have our articulation sheets. So we have the phoneme sequencing sheets. So you can click on this. And so what it does, K is our target sound, but sometimes depending on the vowel sound, how high or low it is, or depending on the type of consonant sound that is at the end of the word, it can have an impact on how a child is able to correctly produce K. So that's what these sheets focus on. And we have these sheets available for K, L, R, T, D, P, B, M, N, F, V, S, and G. We also have our phonological word wheels. Now, I love these because this is a phonological game, but it also deals with sound production of CVC words. It also deals with being able to do phoneme manipulation or phoneme blending, where the ending sound such as app is the same, but letting them understand that when you change the beginning sound of the word, it changes the word itself, and it also changes its meaning. So that's working on phonology, that's working on reading skills. And so depending on the words that you create, then you can go here on this third page and let them match the word they created to the picture that represents it. That's one way to use this after you're finished using it as a word wheel. And then also, as they create the words, you can take it a step further and have them find the meaning of the word by either typing it in or writing it in here as they find the words. So the goal is for them to say cap, nap, tap, map, gap. To create the word, to practice sound production, they go here to work on vocabulary with meaning, being able to define the word, even going as far as making them write it, and you can make them use it in a sentence. And then you're also making them match what they see in print to how it's represented in a picture, okay? So right now we only have those phonological word wheels for at and ip, but there are more coming, so you just have to check back for the website for when that will be available. And then we also have these phoneme syllable wheels. Now these are to stress the production of consonant sounds in isolation and in syllables. And so it's kind of the same concept. So if you're working on P, if they're not able to say P right now, then they can simply focus on P, 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 P. Have them do that part first. Once they're finished with that, we go pay, P, pie, po, poo, and they can draw a line from the P to the vowel. You can have them blend it the way I did, or you can have them break it down. P, A, P, E, P, I, P, O, P, ooh. And as you can see, my mouse is creating that line. And so we have that in many different positions as well. And then we also have these flashcards. Okay, and so the flashcards cover a multitude of sounds. These cards can be used for target sound practice, for initial sound practice, final consonant practice, or just production of CVC words. There's many ways to do it. You can still use these digitally as well, or you can print them out, like I've been saying before, on cardstock, laminate them, cut them out, and use them for extended use outside of just pulling it up on the computer. So this is what I have available. I'm very happy for that. We have PBM, TDN, GK, LR, and FV, and SH, okay? And then my favorite part is I thought about what are some of the websites that I typically use with my children when we are doing any type of therapy. These are websites or activities that I found that I love. So these are just links to other websites that I go to and that I use frequently. I will add more things as I find it. But you guys, this is pretty much what I just wanted to show you, how you're going to go through and find those free activities, how they can be used, how you can download them. I really, really hope that you will visit my page, that you will take advantage of these resources, that you will share them with as many people as possible. And before I leave, let me go ahead and show you guys my social media connection page. Now on this page is where you're going to find my monthly speech calendar for each month. So if you go here, it says monthly speech calendar. Here are the instructions on how to use the calendar. You just click here and it'll take you to the instructions. You go back. The April 2020 calendar, you just click here to download it. This is what it looks like for this month. I would suggest that you print this one out, put it on cardstock, laminate it, whatever you want to do, stick it to your refrigerator, put it on your child's mirror in the room, review these concepts and skills every day. And so on my calendar, you will notice on Saturdays, I don't necessarily suggest that you work on anything, but I do suggest activities that you can download, buy, or purchase. Sometimes they're free, sometimes they're not. Most of the things I find are on the Amazon site. If you're interested in them, you can go back to this page and you can click and you'll see all of the things that I suggest from Amazon or other places that you can use. If you click on it, it will take you directly to where it is on the Amazon site. You can purchase it and go from there. Everything that I'm suggesting to you are things I have used on my own or have used before, okay? So you can look into that as well. If you would show me that support, I would really appreciate it. And then last but not least, all of my latest videos from my channel are here. So if you're just wanting to find them all in one place, not really wanting to search for it, through YouTube, you can go here and click, and all those videos will pop up for you. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate your support. I'm so happy about having 10,000 subscribers. I'm hoping that by the end of the summer, we can have that number doubled or tripled. But I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.